I'm Greg Larry here for the podcast, and fortunate to have with me Ray Benson from Asleep at the Wheel, just coming off stage from a set at DelFest 2025. Was out there catching the set, and a great show.
Oh, thanks, Greg. Great audience.
Yeah, how'd you get involved with the McCourys and DelFest?
Well, I've known Del and Ronnie for years. It's just, brothers on the road, as we call. We recorded together, and I knew we were going to be up in this area about a year ago, so I called Ronnie up and said, Ronnie, before I can't do it, how about inviting us to put in a good word with the folks up there? And he did, and I'm so happy we were able to make it.
Well, it was great when I saw that you were on the lineup for this year, because you have a connection to this area.
Yes, this is where we started. This is Asleep at the Wheel's genesis right here, man. I mean, yeah, it was 1970, and we got a gig at the Southern Lounge in Cumberland, Maryland.
Yes.
And we're for $50 for the band, and we're thrilled. Four sets.
We're happy to get it, huh?
Oh, God, yeah. So anyway,
Yeah, let's take it back to that time period. You were looking for a place to start a band. Did you know that you wanted to go the Western swing direction back in 69, 70?
No, we just wanted to do what we determined was roots American music. So that was country music, hillbilly music, swing, jump, sing, but mostly country music.
Yeah.
And we started playing down around Paw Paw, Great Cacapon, etc., and the little bitty places, because we weren't very good. We practiced every day, all day, and just we're dedicated. And we're broke and starving, but the folks it was so wonderful. I mean, it was such a community of people. They'd come and they'd help out with whatnot, and we were living off the land kind of 1970, 69, 70, and we could have died up there in the woods without the help of the neighbors,
Yeah, you were in Paw Paw, West Virginia, and I think you were up in Levels, which is even further
First we were up in Levels, and then we go into Romney, and we got thrown out of there, and on a slightly misunderstood charge from my brother.
Yeah, we have to understand this was the 60s, so a good time was had by all, and it's fair to say that.
We survived, and then we wound up in Magnolia, which is over by so we covered the area, whole Harris, every county, and it was pretty cool. It was such an innocent time. There was no cell phones, there was no internet, there was no faxes, there was nothing. If we wanted to get in touch with anybody, we went down to downtown Paw Paw with a pocket full of quarters for the payphone.
You had to use the payphone.
Absolutely.
You could get down and get a hot dog at Coney Island for probably about that.
I did. In fact, yes, me and Ralph, he was from Largent, me and Ralph went down, and Ralph's a big old boy, and I challenged him to a hot dog eating contest. I was a skinny runt back then, and wound up I couldn't. But I remember the Coney stand absolutely, and the Montgomery Wards where we would go to get stuff, and then this is where we'd get our groceries. We'd come into Cumberland,
Come into town. And how long was it before you said, let's go get a gig somewhere there in town, like at Southern Lounge?
As soon as we could in 1970, and then we started going into Washington, D.C., and we started getting noticed down in there.
Yeah.
We had this, when we were living in the Levels, the hog farm, with a bunch of hippie buses come and dragged us into Washington, D.C., and the summer of 1970, and we opened for Alice Cooper and Hot Tuna.
Oh, my goodness.
That was our first big concert gig, and that got us going in D.C., and we started playing there, and then the kids would come up to Paw Paw from D.C. to see us play, and then we got invited to go to California. We said, okay, we'll leave the farm. We left one of the guys at the farm, not one of the players, one of the guys, and he said, we'll be back in 6 weeks, and it took, never did get back. We stayed in California, got a record deal. Van Morrison discovered us, Commander Cody, and then we were off and running.
How'd that work out with Van Morrison? What's the story?
Well, he saw us playing in this club and put us on a bunch of shows and mentioned us in Rolling Stone, and boom, we had a record contract with United Artists.
Wow.
Yeah, it happened kind of quick.
Yeah, by what, 71, 72? You were had a record deal?
The end of 72, because we backed up Freddie Hart, and we were backing up country singers, and Yeah, and then we had the record deal by the end of '72, and the record came out in '73. I met Willie Nelson, and Willie said, "You ought to be in Texas." So we left California and moved to Texas, and
You've been there ever
that's
since.
how that one. Yeah.
And you always stayed in touch with a lot of the original players. What,
Yeah.
Chris O'Connell?
Yeah, she all of them, all 100 of them.
That's what makes it challenging, but they're all.
Well, we had reunions. Yeah, we did a record at our 50th anniversary.
Yes, I saw you on that tour.
Leroy lives back up. He's a farm boy from Vermont, and he went back up there. And it's been quite a career, and it's still going. And my TV show on RFD has been. People love it. Del always loves McCurry, who says, I watch it every Saturday night. And then I still do my radio show on Sirius XM, Willie's Roadhouse, 1 hour a week. And so we just keep going.
Well, you have a great voice, so you could make a career in doing narrating.
Face for radio, yeah.
You got a backup career if you ever want. You could do narrations,
I do.
Film scores. I mean, you have a
do.
voice for that.
I just did a new installation at the Alamo, where you take a tour of the Alamo, and I'm one of the voices that guides you through.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. All right, well, listen.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
It's such a pleasure. Greg, it's good to see you.
A pleasure, Ray. And from the days of the Southern Lounge and for $50, and 50 some years ago, you've been kept it alive, and we all appreciate that.
Thank you.
Take care.
In 1987, Asleep at the Wheel memorialized this with a black and white video. My pappy said, son, gonna drive me to drinking if you don't quit driving out. This story of the hot rod race when the Fords and the Lincoln were setting the pace. That story's true, and I'm here to say, cause I was driving that Model A. It's got a Lincoln motor and it's really souped up, and that a Model A body makes it look like a pump. It's got 12 cylinders, use them all. Got overdrive, it just won't stall. With 4-barrel carbs and a dual exhaust and a 411 gears, you can really get lost. It got safety tubes, but honey, I ain't scared. Brakes are good, the tires fair. We pulled out of San Pedro late one night when the moon and the stars were shining bright. We was driving up Grapevine Hill, passing them cars like they was standing still. All of a sudden, in the wink of an eye, a Cadillac sedan passed us by, and I said, boys, that's a mark for me. About then, the taillight was all you could see. Now the boys all ribbed me for being behind, so I thought I'd make that old Lincoln unwind. Took my foot off the gas. Man alive, I shoved it on down into overdrive. Well, I wound it up to 110. My speedometer said we'd hit top end. My foot was glued like legs to the floor. That's all the reason there ain't no more. Now the boys all thought that I'd lost my sense, and every telephone poles looked like a picket fence. They said, Ray, slow down, I see spots. The lines on the road just looked like dots. We took a quarter-size swipe to truck, and I crossed my fingers just for luck. My fenders was quick and the guardrail post. The guy beside me, he was the white as a ghost. Smoke was coming from out of the back when I started to gain on that Cadillac. Well, I knew I could catch him and I thought I could pass, but don't you know, my bed would be low on gas. That flames coming from out of the side, you can feel the tension, man, what a ride. I said, look out, boys, I got a license to fly, and that caddy pulled over and let us by. All of a sudden, she started knocking down in the dip, started rocking. I looked in the mirror, red light was blinking. The cops was after my hot rod Lincoln. All right, business and highway patrol. Get out of the car with your hands up. We need your driver's license, registration, proof of insurance. Put that joint out. Let's see the thing. Where's your mother's maiden name, email address, password to your Facebook page. Do not move until the TSA has examined your PSA. Well, Wilbur, I mean. He arrested me and he put me in jail and he called my pap before to throw my bail. He said, son, you're gonna drive me to drinking if you don't quit driving that hot rod.